The Wyatt Six finally make their shocking return. Shocking, I guess, but it is in fact on Bray Wyatt's birthday, so that was kind of a nice touch that they did that. Hey guys, welcome to the 716 Sports Entertainment Podcast, episode number 20. Can't believe we made it this far. Thank you guys so much for being along with us on this ride. It's been a lot of fun putting these episodes out for you guys, and we really appreciate all the interaction, all the comments, and all the likes and the subs and everything else like that. So thank you guys so much for taking this ride with us. We really appreciate it. So, hey guys, let's break down SmackDown. As always, I'm Mike with 716 Sports Entertainment, joined by Mr. T. Reese and Mr. Sean O'Neill. So, guys, as I mentioned at the top of the segment here, the Wyatt Six returned, and they made their presence felt on the SmackDown tag team scene, where they came out at the end of the fantastic match between Fraxium and the Street Profits, where there was a ton of interference by the Machine Guns and DIY, and the Wyatt Six just laid everybody out at the end of that match. I mean, fantastic match. We kind of knew that the titles weren't going to be swapping hands, like too early to put them on Fraxium, but also probably too early to have Fraxium lose as well with all the momentum that they've been having. But what do we think about the Wyatt Six coming back here and being in this spot specifically?
I was shocked. I mean, there was so much stuff coming out about nobody knew what was going on with the Wyatt Six. Matter of fact, I just listened to some broadcasts about it, and people were saying that the Alexa Bliss thing was taken off the table of her rejoining the Wyatt Six. The Wyatt Six, Bray, not Bray,
Bo.
Bo wasn't even cleared to come back yet. And there was all this other stuff, and boom, they show up into this match. What a great way to interrupt that match so we don't get a winner.
Yeah,
because now you've been taking all the attention off of that. Now you don't have to worry about Fraxium versus them. What's the Wyatt Six angle here? So I was fine with it. I thought it was fun. It was about that we needed something fresh and new since Mania. This might be the freshest thing to happen of things that we didn't expect. I'm just interested in what their plan is going forward with these guys. And I'm still wondering if Alexa, because don't forget now, they had Alexa talking to her doll on during their show too. At one point, she was having a conversation when Charlotte was walking by. Is that alluding to the Wyatt Six thing still? We'll see, because everything that we've been hearing has been the opposite since the end of that SmackDown show.
It was 100% the smart play to be able to end this match in a DQ, but not a DQ involving the Motor City Machine Guns or DIY again, because that's been like the go-to thing for the tag division lately over on SmackDown. And the other interesting part of it is which part of the Wyatt Six would be the ones going after tag things there, because there's so many varieties of people that could compete for the tag titles. I mean, do you have Gacy and Loomis? Do you have Howdy and Rowan? I mean, hell, and it also sets up that little thing between Nikki and Candice LeRae who came back. So there's definitely several different intersecting storylines here that are usable. And like you said, T, we needed something fresh across both shows. With Raw and SmackDown, it's been feeling kind of blah lately. And the return of the Wyatts and everything that they potentially bring storyline wise gives us that fresh look to things. And like you said, Mike, that the birthday cake tribute was awesome.
Yeah, completely agree with that. I hope that they don't fumble them. I hope that they can all stay healthy, and I guess we'll kind of have to see where they go. So this show obviously was the go home show for Saturday night's main event. So we did have quite a few angles throughout the show, kind of leading to that. There were several instances of Drew McIntyre and Damian Priest feuding throughout the show. The show kind of kicked itself off with that a little bit, but it did obviously lead us into sort of the first kind of segment. Which led us into the first match as well. So we had Tiffany Stratton come out to the ring and, just capped off that she's the champion. She's done with Nia Jax very clearly. And then this brought out Alexa Bliss. And Alexa Bliss kind of introduced herself to Tiffany and is still kind of teasing that she's going to have some kind of program with Charlotte Flair. Kind of interesting to see where they go with that. This obviously brought out Charlotte, which led us to, Charlotte once again, kind of inserting herself into the title picture. And this initially kind of made me mad because I was kind of like, she's gonna win this damn qualifying match, isn't she? Like I immediately was like, she's going to win this because Alexa's in this, and it makes so much sense for her to just go on and win this. But Tiffany really didn't get a word in after that. She kind of made her way back up the entrance ramp when Julia came out, and Julia kind of gave her a quick sort of stare down, and they introduced her as the newest signee to SmackDown, which led us off to our first match, which was the qualifier triple threat between Charlotte, Julia, and Zelina Vega. So, Sean, I'll pass it over to you. Tell us what you thought about the match and, the outcome.
So I'm not going to lie. When Charlotte made her comment about winning the women's Money at the Bank briefcase being the only thing that she hadn't done yet, my heart kind of sank right there. I really did think that she might win the qualifier then, just because, of course, Charlotte Flair has to do everything and have every achievement in WWE. But WWE, again, made the right choice, much like they did on Monday with having Roxanne Perez win her match. Julia is the right choice. And even if she doesn't win, if one of these new girls does not win the briefcase, having both of them in such a high profile match is a huge showcase for them. And it sort of makes sense now that Julia went to SmackDown a little bit more than it did, because now you can have both of them on opposite sides going for this briefcase.
Well, I don't. I think it's gonna be difficult WWE to let Charlotte win much of anything the way she's getting reactions now. I mean, she couldn't even talk. They were booing her right out of the arena again. Because, like you said, Mike, people are just tired. You're just flooding us with Charlotte every time major shows comes up. She just gets tossed in the title matches. She doesn't have to wrestle anybody. She just gets put right into a storyline. And I don't know if it's in her contract that's how it's supposed to be done, but it's starting to get a bit redundant. Fans are tired of it. But I'm glad Julia won. I didn't expect it to happen, to be honest with you. There's another good wrestler you're going to have in the middle of that match. And I can't do, again, the women's Money in the Bank match is rounding out really, really nice. I really think I wouldn't be surprised if it steals just steal. It's going to be better than the men's. It's going to steal the show, in my opinion.
It certainly seems that way. And I mean, this match was awesome. I mean, as much as we all really don't care for Charlotte, I mean, she's still very good in the ring. Zelina definitely looked like the weakest link of this match, but I mean, it was fantastic. The match kind of came to a close when Julia broke up Charlotte's attempt at a figure eight on Zelina, and then she proceeded to hit Zelina with the Northern Lights drop bomb to pick up the 1-2-3. So overall, good match. Julia got the win and is on her way to Money in the Bank.
Well, can I comment one more thing on that?
Yeah.
Why did they try to do the Io Sky thing with Zelina in this one? You don't remember they were trying to ignore her during that match. They kept shoving her aside.
Well, because she's not on the tier of Charlotte and Julia.
No, but again, you just did that storyline with Io Sky. Now you're going to go and try and do the underdog thing in this match. And I'm just like, you didn't even have to do that. You just let them get in the ring and wrestle.
You're right.
I just thought that was kind of like, okay. I mean, it wasn't a major point, but just kind of like, okay, guys, we already did this. We had one small wrestler that did this too a couple weeks ago, a month ago in WrestleMania. And now we're going to try and I thought that for sure they were going to go with that angle with Zelina in this one. But lo and behold, they let Julia win it. I'm glad.
The other good news is nobody's leg exploded in this match.
So as we mentioned, this show obviously was the go-home show to Saturday night's main event. So there was, some stuff between the Secret Harvest and Zelina Vega, which did lead to a match a little bit later on in the show, which we'll get to in a minute. But obviously that match being set up between Chelsea and Zelina as a rematch at the Saturday night's main event. But we did initially next have a match between Chris Sabin and Tommaso Ciampa, which was awesome. I mean, obviously these two guys are excellent, both part of, some of the best tag teams on WWE right now. But overall, they delivered an instant classic. There were numerous "this is awesome" chants throughout this match. And the final moments of the match did see Candice LeRae return, where she came out of nowhere to attack for Sabin, and then Ciampa hit him with the thunderous knee to get the win. So what do we think of Candice returning here, kind of aligning herself with her real-life husband? And, I think this was a good match. Reese, what are your opinions on this?
Well, let's not forget, Ciampa is a really good singles wrestler. He doesn't get a lot of credit for that, especially when he had his run in NXT.
Both of them are.
Yeah, but Ciampa, I think, had a better run than at the moment. But I mean, they put on a great match. I mean, you couldn't ask for anything more in this match. 2 seasoned wrestlers in the ring. They know exactly what they need to do in the ring. Uh, I mean, both of them from the indie circuit. It was just a good match. Yeah, the Candice LeRae thing, I didn't expect that. It's kind of what I expected them to do with with Seth and Seth and his wife. I thought they were going to do that with them, but they ended up doing with this group. It's interesting where they're going to go with this one too, because I mean, if the White Six are throwing themselves into the middle of these title matches, now you got a 3-man crew over there, and I wouldn't be surprised if that's who the White Six kind of go after. I think what they're going to maybe they'll angle where they're just going to kind of pick off everybody up until they can get the belts. Again, your question too, Sean, is who do you give it to? I think they treat it like the New Day did when they had the belts. It just
rotate.
Yeah, just rotated whoever's going to be in the ring to take it.
Use the Freebird rule.
Yeah, I like to see that. But yeah, that was a great match. I had fun watching that match. Chris Sabin, again, a legend. A straight legend. I mean, his timing in the ring is just, it's absurd. It's absurd that he can just, at his age now, too, that he can still pull off the moves and have the timing he has in the ring right now. It doesn't even look like his match has even changed. He's always been a high-speed, high-flying guy, and it doesn't look like he's even lost a step.
Yeah, I completely agree.
Yeah, like you mentioned, these teams know each other so well just from competing against each other everywhere prior to getting to WWE. And, I mean, thank God that the Motor City Machine Guns finally made it to WWE because too many fans didn't know enough about them. I think the nice thing about Candice LeRae coming back is, thank the Lord, she's no longer aligned with Nia Jax. Because that was the last time we saw her was when she was taking Tiffany's place. And I mean, hopefully we get to see a match between Alex Shelley and Gargano. I think that would be a nice little offset to this particular match. But I think, like Mike said, you're going to see this more evolve into the Wyatt Six versus everybody. And with Nikki Cross and Candice LeRae both there, it makes sense that DIY is probably their first target in the tag division.
Yeah, I would agree with that. So, as we mentioned, with the backstage segment between the Secret Service and B-Fab Meechin and Zelina Vega, we did have a match between those 4 women. It was a fine tag team match. It was fast-paced. Chelsea tried to interfere numerous times, but Zelina came to ringside to take her out. B-Fab hit the neck breaker on Alba Fire to get the win for her team. Like I said, fine match, short. I mean, I think it was just there to get some women on the card and to kind of fill out time a little bit for this 3-hour SmackDown.
Yeah, nothing really to write home about. I mean, you know what you're getting out of all 4 of these women when Piper Niven remembers that's where she is in the wrestling ring.
Well, I mean, also, I don't even know if this was even a match just to have women. They just don't have nobody to fill the night. So you got to toss them. I mean, these are and not to be disrespectful, but these were the bench warmers. Every so often, I've coached football. Every so often, you're going to have a game or a match or a practice where you're going to let the guys on the bench who don't get a lot of air time, a lot of play time to come onto the field. I think that's what happened here. Because the match wasn't even necessary. I think they just needed to fill a spot. So I don't think you're going to get anything out of this. But it was okay match. I mean, I don't think it was anything to scream home about. But
yeah,
got the job done.
So yeah, I agree. It was kind of just a filler, nothing match, just to kind of fill time. So I think the next thing was probably the biggest fumble of the night, and I think it's kind of the biggest fumble on SmackDown right now is what we're doing with Rey Fenix. But specifically, we had a tag team match scheduled for Jacob Fatu and I can't even Jeff Cobb and Jimmy Uso and Rey Fenix. This match was awesome. Obviously, even despite the visible tensions between Jeff Cobb, I'm not going to call him JC Mateo, guys. I'm just not. And Jacob Fatu, they worked surprisingly cohesively against Jimmy and Rey Fenix. And I mean, the match, like I said, it was awesome. And the ending saw Solo distracting Jimmy long enough for Jeff Cobb to take advantage and deliver the power slam for the win. I think that my takeaway from this match is what the hell are we doing with Rey Fenix? Why is he losing all the time?
There's one positive though. At least the right person took the pinfall this time instead, unlike last week.
Right. He didn't take the fall this time around, but I don't know. This is bad booking. I'm just
Yeah.
tired of it. I
It
mean,
could have been anybody else. You could
yep.
have put anybody else here to take the pin.
But
Like
they want the crowd.
Ray Phoenix didn't need to be in this match.
Yeah, they want the crowd pop is all they wanted. I mean, I mean, up to the point of this match, the show wasn't all. I mean, it was nothing to scream home about.
I mean,
So you got to get a pop somewhere, along the lines. But I just don't like what they're doing with Ray, and I think they're doing it on purpose because they're holding him out long enough to team back up with his brother. That's why I don't think they're pushing him on anything. And I think it's a doggone shame that WWE is doing this, and they need to stop it. Let the man wrestle until you decide when you're going to put them together, which I just don't even know when or how you're going to do this because we haven't heard anything about them switching wrestlers to different brands and stuff anytime soon. You need to let Ray show off Ray. Yep. I mean, and if you're going to do a 3-man match, I'm going to be honest with you. You know, would have been a great third person in that Ciampa and Sabin match, Ray.
Yeah, yep. But it doesn't really fit the storyline for that because that's.
But I understand that, but you're just kind of throwing matches out there. You're trying.
He doesn't fit the storyline for this.
Yeah,
he doesn't.
You're 100% right.
Why is he involved with the Bloodline?
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't need to be involved with the Bloodline. I don't care if he doesn't fit. Like, you're just throwing him out there to throw him out there. Put anybody else here. Yep. Anybody else here.
Yep.
It doesn't matter. Like, why are you burying like this brand new guy that you're bringing on board? Like, you put anybody else here. Hell, frankly, you know what? I kind of want to skip ahead for a second because we can talk about our Truth promo in a minute here. But like, you had LA Knight win the qualifying match, and you know what? LA Knight has been involved with the Bloodline. You put LA Knight here.
Mm-hmm.
Jimmy can still take the pin, but you put LA Knight here. Because frankly, I think that was the next biggest travesty of the night, having LA Knight win that Money in the Bank qualifier when, you're just going to have Aleister Black like have a feud with Shinsuke Nakamura, I guess. But like, why isn't Aleister Black in that Money in the Bank match? Like, what are we doing here? That was like terrible booking.
Yeah. This show seemed like it was all over the place a little bit. Again, it's what we've been saying. This is our 20th episode, and we said it 20 times. WWE needs to get on their saddle and get back rolling again because they're falling off. I mean, completely.
I only have one argument though: is with these guys losing in these multi-man matches, we know that WWE sort of ranks multi-man matches differently than they do single-man person matches, so they don't really count those as normal types of losses. I agree that the booking has been pretty terrible, but I sort of get a little bit of WWE's thing there.
I don't know. The crowd and the fans don't love any of that, but
nobody cares about the wins and losses anymore. The only time anybody cares about it is when they bring it up. Quite frankly, I don't go into a match watching and say, "Oh, this person's lost 3 or 4 in a row." I want to see a good match. So I don't think it has anything to do with winning or losing. I just think that at this point, WWE has no direction. At least with the mid-card storylines, they have no direction going on right now. And I just don't see. And with another show coming up in a few weeks, how do you fix it in a couple of weeks?
I don't think you do.
And honestly, Mike, to your point too, Phoenix should have been the one in this qualifier match. And if anyone was going to win over Aleister Black, it should have been Phoenix.
Yep.
Agree.
It would have made perfect sense to swap LA Knight with Rey Fenix in this match.
Yep.
Perfect sense because LA Knight is still involved in that Bloodline story. He's still feuding with Jacob Fatu and now Jeff Cobb. So why are we what are we doing here?
And we all know
last week he comes out and takes Jeff Cobb out and then runs away and he has his match with him, but that's it. That feud's obviously still not over. He's going to go back to feuding with the Bloodline. I don't know. The whole thing to me is dumb, but let's move on. We had R-Truth come out next to cut a promo about his match coming up at Saturday night's main event with John Cena, which we all are kind of the mind that this is going to be more of a segment than a match. I don't really get it. Like we've said a couple of times now, it's 2025. Why are we doing this in 2025? But I don't know. Guys, give me your thoughts on this. Like, what do you feel about this overall?
Our Truth Cena promos are literally the same every week. Oh, he was my childhood hero. Oh, this isn't the real John Cena. Oh, yada yada. I'm gonna cut all of Cena's taglines and end it with "If Cena wins, we riot," because there's nothing original in this segment.
This is my impression of what our truth should have been this week. Silence.
Yep.
There was no reason for him to come out into the ring to even do that. I'm sitting there watching like, this is stupid. Like, why don't you just do like a backstage segment or something? Because we all know this doesn't matter to anything. It's pointless. And you let him come out in the ring. Our truth hasn't been in the ring to do a to do a promo in how long?
How
And I'm
was it
sitting there
any
watching
different
him.
than last week?
I'm sitting there watching him. I'm just like, dude, come on, bro.
Yeah. Like, to your point, I really have nothing to say. This is like this just needs to be over. It is embarrassing for the title picture. It adds no credibility to like anything that is going on, and it makes the whole. I don't know. I've mentioned on numerous occasions how annoyed I am that Roman Reigns' amazing title reign got ended by Cody amazingly, and then Cody held the belt for a year and did a great job with it, and then this. This is what we're doing with the biggest championship in wrestling right now. Like it's embarrassing.
Right.
It's really embarrassing.
Like I
Uh,
get that you needed to have a filler thing for Saturday Night Main Event, but
it didn't
there
even
had
need
to
to
have
be.
been something
It
better.
didn't. This could have been a TV thing. This did not need to be on a premium live event at all. It didn't. You can. Nobody can convince me otherwise. This did not need to be on a premium live event.
My
Oh,
only assumption is they must have wanted to get.
Christ.
Yeah, I'm assuming his camera went again.
Yeah, I'm still
Um,
here.
my assumption is that they just wanted to get Cena on another Saturday Night Main Event before he was done.
Yes, I don't know. Um, then it led us to our last qualifier between LA Knight, Shinsuke Nakamura, and Aleister Black, which we briefly touched on. LA Knight did get the win after Aleister Black hit a black mass on Shinsuke Nakamura, then proceeded to push him out of the ring to qualify for the match. Again, this should have been Ray Phoenix in this spot. It would have made so much more sense. But again, with the booking, right? And I think you make a lot of mistakes here. One, LA Knight is already in the Bloodline story. He should have stayed in the Bloodline story. Two, you just debuted Aleister Black like within the last month, and he's losing. I mean, I guess he's going into a feud with Shinsuke Nakamura, but like whatever. He'll win that feud, obviously. Like we all know that he will win that feud. But then, and then three, it obviously buries Shinsuke Nakamura. But then four, obviously, we talked about the burial of Ray Phoenix. So, like, overall, this was stupid. You made so many mistakes that you could have corrected by just putting Ray Phoenix in this match and having Ray Phoenix win.
I think it's kind of weird that they keep bringing these guys back, Aleister Black and Rusev,
Rusev.
to wrestle with jobbers mostly.
Yeah.
That's all they're doing. I mean, I don't understand the whole point because they're both strikers. This is what we're doing. If I'm Aleister Black, I mean, you give the guy something to work with here, and instead he's just kind of just sitting out there in purgatory, and you're just picking guys for him to get in the ring. I don't understand it. This is another guy who probably would have been great in that match, in that Money in the Bank match, and instead you toss it to LA Knight, who I got no problem. I like LA Knight. I like LA Knight a lot, but I didn't need him in the Money in the Bank match. I didn't need him in there.
I gotta be honest with you, I'm kind of getting sick of him.
Yep.
I think they're making me sick of LA Knight. They really are, because he's completely directionless.
Yep. They
So
have no plans for him.
So as of right now, we have two people qualified for the Money at the Bank, both from SmackDown, neither of who are going to win the match. At this point, when are we going to see somebody make it in? Is it going to be Fatu when in the qualifier next week? Because as of right now, we don't have any potential winners that are qualified.
Well, they also don't have. I mean, the men's Money in the Bank has a bunch of anything to scream about right now.
It's got Solo and it's got LA Knight so far.
Well, I guarantee whoever is in. I mean, if they introduce a third person, who knows? But with the Seth Rollins crew, I think it's going to be Braun. I think Braun Breaker is going to be involved.
In the mid Money at the Bank on the Raw side.
And
Well,
I wouldn't be surprised they let him win it.
like I said, I think the only person out of the SmackDown side that we're going to see in the Money at the Bank is, I think it's going to be Fatu, who earns the final spot, and he's the only feasible person off of the SmackDown roster contestants that could make it off of that side. So they need to figure out what they're doing on the Raw side to give us a believable Money at the Bank match.
And they don't have the greatest people that use ladders in the ring for this match either. So
Why
far,
I'm saying Ray Phoenix should have won. Would have made so much more sense.
Ray and either one of them. Don't even put them in both in the same. Split them up. Let them both win their matches. Put them in there.
Yeah,
Completely agree. Anyway, so we talked about the main event segment, which was what was after this. So yeah, overall, guys, this was SmackDown. It was a little bit disappointing. I mean, the wrestling at the beginning of the show was very good, as it always is. I mean, with some of the talent that was in there, Julia is excellent. The Motor City Machine Guns are excellent. DIY is excellent. But man, the booking is just really falling flat for me. And to Terrence, I know you've said this numerous times, but they really need to get their act together with this booking. It just is not. It doesn't make any sense. And like you're starting, your fifth big Money in the Bank is probably a bigger show than Survivor Series at this point. So your fourth biggest show of the year, in a sense, and this is like what we're building to. Like we have 2 weeks until Money in the Bank, right? Like what are we doing? And, like I'm not interested in the men's match at all. The only thing that's gonna be worth watching on that show is the women's match, which it's only going to be worth watching because the match is going to be good. Once the person, whoever gets the briefcase, it's not going to matter because it never really matters, like at all. It never, it never really matters.
And you haven't really had too many people failing and cashing in lately either. So
yeah, I mean,
very few have ever failed.
Yep.
Whoever gets it, maybe they'll swerve us. Maybe Roxanne will get it, right? And maybe she'll take the title off of Io after Rhea and Io have their SummerSlam match, which might end up happening, right? Which that would be pretty cool if Roxanne came out and cashed in on the winner of that or something like that. It's a little bit of fantasy booking there would be pretty cool. So yeah, overall, guys, that was SmackDown. So what's your final ratings?
Well, I don't have much of a rating. I just want to make my one key point is these going home shows have been pretty bad over the last three pay-per-views.
Backlash.
It used to be like you couldn't wait for the going home show because you knew something was going to come out of it. Now it's just been dud after dud after dud. And I mean, can you even give this? Did this feel like a going home show?
Not really.
Was there anybody really going to be involved in that and the Saturday Night Main Event even on here?
Besides R-Truth and that uselessness?
Think about it. There was nobody even involved in the matches on Saturday, even come out to even talk.
You're right, because Priest and McIntyre just brawled all night.
Yeah. So, I mean, it didn't even feel like there was a main event. There was anything happening this weekend with them. So, I'm not even going to rate the show because I just thought it was a pointless show. There was nothing happening, no direction, more questions that we're asking as fans. I don't even know I don't even know if you can give it a rating. There's nothing for me to rate.
See, I disagree. I at least give it a rating. I give it a 2.5, just because of the wrestling and the Wyatt Six. Most of the actual matches themselves were pretty good, so that earns me some goodwill. And then the ending itself, I enjoyed.
Yeah, I'm curious to see where they go with the Wyatt Six, but they definitely need to figure out their booking soon because, like, this show, as I've said on like 17 different occasions, feels completely directionless without your top champion on this show. It makes all of the difference to have your top guy on this show. And, if it's Cody or because we know Cena's not full time, but even when Roman was on this show felt like it had direction. It felt like must see television when Roman's bloodline was on this show. Like I watched SmackDown for those 4 years just to see the Roman Reigns segment. And then sometimes I would shut it off, honestly, because I didn't give a crap after that. And this show it needs that like shot in the arm. So I agree with Sean. I think like 2.5 out of 5 just for the wrestling alone. But
I mean, if you want me to rate it, I would give it a 1. A 1 star. That's what I give it. All right. If I got to give it any rating, it's a 1. And there's nothing that drew me in to want to even watch this this show tonight. It just didn't make any sense.
So that was our review of SmackDown, guys. Thank you so much for joining us for these 20 episodes of this podcast. We really appreciate it. And we're going to keep going. We're going to have 20 more for you over the next couple of months here. As always, smash that like and subscribe button. We really appreciate it. And as always, guys, have a great evening. Enjoy all of the premium live events and or pay-per-views this weekend, depending on whatever the heck you want to call it. It's going to be a lot of good ones, especially on Sunday with AEW Double or Nothing and NXT Battlegrounds. So enjoy them. Have a great evening and take care.